This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katzer, and welcome to what should be the Clara Awards, but technically the Clara Awards ended last year. It would be the New Year's thing, New Year's Comedy Eve thing. We're not doing that this year, so that was canceled. There's no move yet. There will be. The stations and studio doesn't exist anymore. It's all, yeah, so basically there's nothing to do a Clara Awards for. So basically, so what this is sort of an old school, let's just talk about movies in 2025 that I've seen. Caveat right away is I have not seen K-Pop Demon Hunter, and it is already the 29th. It is not likely that I will see that in the next 2 days. So I cannot rate that movie. Marx Cards liked it. Yeah, so let's just jump right into movies I've seen and go over those and let's see what went on. Based on the movie reviews thing from last month, November, on my website over there. It's over there on screen. The top of the list of the movies of the year that's likely to win all the awards is Ne Zha 2. Although Ne Zha 1 is actually a little better as a movie, Ne Zha 2 is an animation spectacle extravaganza combining animation and whatnot with a lot of CG overlays and stuff. Ne Zha 2 has there was some confusion early on, and I just texted Marx Cards about that, about the having heard now from many sources, including actual people that are Chinese animation fans from China, actual Chinese people from the ESL class, actual real ones, and also animation fans and people from the cast, from the church, who are like, they kept saying 10 billion yuan. The movie made 10 billion yuan, and the confusion is that the yuan, the Chinese yuan, is equivalent to a dime and a quarter in the U.S. It's a dime, a little over a dime and a quarter, literally 15% of the U.S. dollar. So when somebody says, to make that simple, when somebody says that you have 100 yuan, that'd be not very much. Okay, you have 150 yuan. That'd be yeah, not very much. It would be just 115 quarters of dimes. Yeah, dimes. It'd be like not very much. So basically, when they say 10 billion yuan, what they mean is a little over $1.5 billion US. $1.5 billion US. Yeah. So 100 yuan would be $1.50, basically. Yeah. So you just scale it up. You have the number right there. $1.5 billion. In China, it made $1.5 billion, which means that, yeah, like I said in the text, they probably mortgaged their apartment houses. That when the estate ordered them, everyone in their country, to see this movie at least 8 times. As I commented 11 times, there's probably more like 8 times. But yeah, they were like, you must go see this movie. Command you. No, it was quite popular. Also, it made another billion, almost another billion domestically. So, 2.1 billion currently, all around worldwide. If you transfer it to a dollar, the dollar value, then it's the highest grossing animated movie ever. Even with inflation and all that. Bigger than Avatar. By a little bit. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's 2 billion, which is no great shakes. It's 2 billion. It's 2 billion is impressive. Marvel movies hope to get billions again. I've seen a lot of Marvel movies this year. Ne Zha 2 is sure to win foreign animated film as well as the other thing, although I guess K-Pop Demon Hunter is better in terms of popularity among younger people. But yes, that one too. But I haven't seen it, so I'm only going by the award stuff. What I've seen. Ne Zha 2. I think it was with a Z. Ne Zha 2. I also told that Official box office numbers have come in now that it's December, confirming the dollar amount is a little over $2 billion for Ne Zha 2. That's what it is. And something that high up should be, 10 billion yuan. But 10 billion yuan is just a little over a dime. So 15 cents, basically. 15 cents. It's like a peso. The peso was about 10 pesos to a dollar in the 90s, late 90s. So, it's like a peso. So I don't know if there's a larger number bill they should use other than the yuan to say that it's a dollar. There's probably a higher one, but they use the yuan. So that's what they use. These are gamer people, other people, movie people that said this. Not just the internet, not just, there's three of them. There was Mr. Tran, there was a guy named Wang, another guy, and Scott Boyd. But yes, so that's that. The next movie on the list, as we go on the list, because Ne Zha 2 technically came out in February, and the numbers were all over the place because people kept posting 10 billion as of June or so, not realizing that as yuan, not dollars. And then we come to Fantastic Four First Steps and stuff like that. Okay, Superman Legacy. Let's do that one. James Gunn's reintroduction of the DCU. Decent movie, fun movie. A lot of good moments in there, including showing a version of the Justice League from a slightly later universe. A new alien Borg lady that shoots nanites. She's more of a construct kind of thing. That one was new to even Scott, so Scott was like, I don't know who that's supposed to be, but she's just in there. But they just the engineer was her name. That was a different thing. The characters did well in the movie. It wasn't your usual Pain and Peril, sort of a remake of Superman: The Quest for Peace. Because they couldn't do Zod again, because that would have been stupid. So they kind of did something similar, clone him, and you knew what was going on. And for visuals and for a reboot idea, it works as a reboot. You could set up different categories. But considering that most of these movies on my list were already superhero movies, I can't honestly give it Best Picture. It's not that great. I mean, it's not Best Picture. It's good. It's very good. A very, very competent movie. The next one is Fantastic Four First Steps. It kind of seems almost like nepotism to go with that one because Marvel went with my idea of making it set in a 60s universe. That was also Marx Cards' idea, so both of us. They didn't pay us, of course. That would have been nice. They just went and did it. And although Pedro Pascal seemed like weird casting, I can see why Disney did that just because he's there. Why not use him? I like the elements. Marx Cards has not seen it. I like the elements of it. They were deliberately spoofing our stuff, though. You could kind of tell because there's a baby in it that's born in it, and they do the baby born thing, which they also kind of ripped off in Avatar 3. They had a baby in that one too. Well, the beginning of a baby in that one. But there was so they're kind of copying the Fantastic Four. But we get to that later. The Fantastic Four movie didn't have Squirrel Girl at the end. It did have Thanos. Not Thanos. It did have Galactus. It was a Celestial, similar to Unicron is a Celestial robot. But we won't go into that. It's a Transformers Marvel property. Anyway, it's not related. All the Transformer stuff was last year, so we'll do more of those in the future. It'll happen again. We have First Steps. Fine superhero movie. Fine, absolutely acceptable. Now looking back on it months later, Best Picture, not really. That's fine. Marx Cards was annoyed at the idea that there's a baby in it, so he hasn't seen it. But I think it works in this context because the movie had to establish this character who is like an all-powerful being called David. The kid is supposed to be a power cosmic being from the Marvel cosmic powers, space powers, basically. So he's canon, basically. It's supposed to be there. Yeah. So yeah, let's see what the next one is here. No. Then we come to Predator Badlands. Predator Badlands is sort of the sequel to Prey, and then another one. I didn't see the other one, so it's sort of the theatrical sequel to these other two that aired on Netflix, but it was aired in theaters as well. A better reboot than some of the other Predator movies have been. It's on a par with the Predator, Alien vs. Predator Requiem movie, where they go to another planet, similar to that one. It's fine. It worked. I thought the protagonist was charming, but then again, it is one of the. It's Ellie Fanning. I mean, she's charming. It's all good. But yeah, that was fun. She played this sort of a Luby robot. That works. Against type to this Predator guy. It's alien. It's Enemy Mine. It's that the Enterprise Stranger Worlds episode that we thought. Yeah, so we'll go into Stranger Worlds later a little bit, but not too much. I already reviewed a lot of that. It was TV. Into some of my stuff later, but here the Predator movie was fine. It was okay. It's not going to win any Oscars. It's just sitting there, but it's fine. Go watch it. Okay. What happened is I said go see Demon Slayer: Eternal Castle, and John went on to Marx Cards, goes on to Netflix. He watches K-pop Hunters. And Scott also watched it. But yes, wrong movie. I watched the Demon Slayer movie. It was a different one. This is the rated R one with the zombies and creatures and the other universe perdition thing going on. They slay demons in perdition. Yeah, so very violent. Not for kids. It's not like the K-pop demon. What I have not seen. I can't rate it if I haven't seen it. It's not fair. But I have seen Eternal Castle. The animation was quite gloriously beautiful and bloody and gory. And yeah, Marx Cards would like the rated R story, but Neja 2 is going to win. I mean, come on, way better. Yeah, it's going to win. The next is Thunderbolt, which originally was going to be before Brave New World, the two Marvel movies. Before in the past, my channel has been accused of being a shill for Marvel and Disney, just because we're fans. We're just fans. If we were shills for Marvel and Disney, we'd make more money. We did go to Disneyland this year. That was something else. So we have been there during in October. So there was like during the late September, early October. My cat died right after that. But early October, so one thing, I have a Lifetime Achievement Award for the cat, Cadabra. But yeah, so the Lifetime Achievement Award to the cats. Rob Reiner also died this year. So, did a lot of 80s movies. But it was just because his weird psychotic son decided to whack him. So that's messed up. And so we have, so we're going to go back to Thunderbolts, which was meant to come out before the other one, but then was switched over. So they had to add stuff to it and subtract stuff from it. So it kind of doesn't. And it's supposed to be setting up the new Avengers who fight in Doomsday. There was a massive shakeup at Disney Marvel, similar to the DC one, in that they had to drop the Kang Dynasty story arc from 2022, 2023. They had to drop that entirely because of a certain actor who, well, it wasn't just the actor. It just wasn't a good idea. Ant-Man, they could have made it work, but Ant-Man Quantumania was so poorly received that they were like, oh, maybe this Kang idea is not good. So they kind of threw it over to Loki Season 2, which I did not see because I didn't have Disney Plus anymore at that point. Yeah, and I didn't, so I didn't know what they did over there. They could have ended it over there, I guess that's what they did. Deadpool versus Wolverine was fun. That was his best picture last year, I think. But these later ones have been a little hit and miss. Thunderbolts has its moments. It's clever. There's funny parts in it. It's trying to be a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing with a ragged team led by a giant bear-like guy, which is similar to the Starship Locations and Tim, although Tim is not in it that much. Yeah, he's not in it that much. But there's Brian Story, who's not in it that much either. But yeah, so there's a rugged guy. There's another rugged guy, Leo Starro, who's kind of in it. But that doesn't matter, because in this movie, it's about this movie. And yeah, it was okay. It was fine. Definitely not Oscar worthy. So they realized their mistake earlier with Captain America: Brave New World, which didn't make as much money. It had a lot of issues. It was trying to be an Incredible Hulk movie, but with a Red Hulk. There is a canon Red Hulk. They just kind of didn't do it right. They had to recast the President guy as Harrison Ford. Clearly didn't want to be there. A Red Letter Media guy, effects guy, sound effect, voice actor guy, got to be in the movie, which was cool. So he got to do the voice of the announcer on the TV who does the announcing, uncredited. That's cool. But yeah, you could tell it was him. He's all like, yes, the adamantium has been discovered. It's like, okay, this is the voice guy from Hard Letter Media. That's cool. That's neat. Also, Quaid has been on there, the guy who played on Lower Decks. Oddly enough, they should review Lower Decks now that it's over. They should on Red Letter Media. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we're going to go on from there without rambling about Lower Decks. So we have, I think Lower Decks ended last year. Anyway, so we have, might have been this year, Captain America. Captain America: Brave New World suffered from the fact that okay, you figure most people have seen that sort of Winter Soldier extended series with Captain America: The Winter Soldier series. That was, I forget what that what it was called? Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the series. Yeah, that's what it was. And these two are spin-offs of that because they dumped the other story arc. So they're like, crap, we have to make something up. Which is why the Thunderbolts New Avengers thing is tacked on the end, and the Wheaties box size, because they had to tack that on the end. They had to say, oh, we're going to set up Doomsday. So it's also set up in First Steps later on, which came out later as well. First Steps came out later on. And so it's like, okay, these other two, First Steps, the Fantastic Four ship shows up at the end of this one, making it very confusing. Shows up at the end of this one, and the Fantastic Four, and their ship shows up from the other universe. There's no setup for that at the end of First Steps, Fantastic Four. The Doctor Doom shows up at the end of First Steps. He's got Franklin. Where he's talking to him, basically. He didn't capture him, he's just talking to him. And then there's so they set up the Doctor Doom thing that they kind of tacked on the end. Like, they weren't really going to do that. And then they set up the other thing, they tacked on the end. And now they have a trailer out that they put before Avatar 2 they're going to, this brings it back. Somehow they're going to bring back Steve Rogers. I don't think they should have done that, because obviously it's another universe as Steve Rogers. It can't be the same guy. But it's just they're desperate. They're like, Robert Downey Jr. will play Doom, and Steve Rogers comes back, because after this new story arc they've got doesn't work. Phase 4, Phase 5 doesn't work. It's not as interesting. So they're going to bring back their mainstay guys somehow. All they had to do is do the Kal Kat thing and say, well, it's a multiverse. So there's another version of them steps out. Yeah, just to do that. You did it before with that other, the Multitude of Madness. You did it in that one. Just do it again. It's fine. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, do it. Then do it that way. Another multiverse. This other guy pops out. There he is. Sure. It still doesn't work though. It's clunky, because if you haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're completely lost. You're like, these two movies are connected to a movie they haven't seen. They did that with the Secret Wars thing, the Secret Invasion series as well, which I've seen reviews of. I didn't see it. Pretty good. I didn't see She-Hulk. I can't complain either way about that. I did see the Marvels and Miss Marvel, but that was okay. It was fine. So yeah, maybe I didn't see the Marvels all the way through. I did see the Marvels, but not Ms. Marvel. But it explains things. So it's fine. After that, we divert from the Marvel people to another franchise, to the other Disney franchise, Tron Ares. It has kind of the same problem the Ant-Man Quantumania movie did, in that you have a controversial lead playing, this other film. It's Jay Leto, a controversial fellow to say the least, playing the main character, and for various reasons we won't go into. And yeah, people didn't want to go see it. It was kind of a mess. It was visually pretty. People have said the best thing about it is it's a Nine Inch Nails music video. And it is. It's a 9 Inch Nails. It's cool. Go watch it. It's very 90s. Poppy kind of thing. But the ending of part 2 didn't make any sense. How did he make a Tron girl? Well, I suppose they have a laser that makes puts people in a game, they can pull them out and recreate them, because they did in this one. So sure, they could do that. Doesn't make any sense. A laser shouldn't be able to make something. It should be able to tear it apart. It's not a laser. It's a plasma device of some kind. Matter transporter of some kind. Not a laser. Don't call it a laser. It's not a laser. It's a matter transporter. Get your teleporter. It's like, get your things right. So you treat it like a teleporter. But yeah, the movie, it was mediocre to fine. I guess it was. It's not gonna get worst of. It's not gonna get best of. I don't think there's anybody that's got best actor this year or best actress. Yeah, there's a couple of movies that are not on here that I will go into that I've seen since these. But let's go on to the next one, which is the Karate Kid Legends movie. I have seen the series this is based on. It's loosely based on, or at least one season of it. That Karate Kid spinoff, Cobra Kai. One season. I had the DVD box set. I never watched it all the way through. So, yeah, I get it's the Karate Kid and the other guy and Jackie Chan. The problem is the premise is ridiculous. Karate tournament will somehow solve their problems, and there's a family, and they're being bribed. Essentially, there's bribery and extortion going on by this neighboring gym near them that's extorting the pizza place. Call the cops. This doesn't need to be a karate tournament where your kid needs to risk his life. Everything. Call the police. Have them go over there and arrest the bad guy for extorting you, and have him get him and sue him. Then you'll get your money back. You won't have to pay the money to the extortionist. He'll be in jail. This movie, like Machio and the other guy should have been all. Wait a minute. Yeah, just do that. You don't need a karate. Your chances of winning the karate tournament are ridiculous. So yeah, the whole premise of this movie was like, why is this? This movie doesn't need to exist, and there wasn't enough of Machio in it. Jackie Chan's in it, but there wasn't enough of Machio in it. Why weren't they going to do any fighting? Yeah, they should walk in there and do some fighting. Well, it's probably that Ralph Macchio doesn't actually know what he's doing anymore at like 60. That's probably what it is. And Jackie Chan's like 70 or something. He's pretty old too. So they're probably like, I guess, yeah, Ralph Macchio's, yeah, he's got to be 60. He's older than me. Yeah. But I may be wrong on that, but no need to correct it. But yeah, the movie was kind of silly. Premise is silly. A karate tournament solves everything. Another kind of disappointing movie. Dead Reckoning 2, The Final Reckoning. They changed the title because they realized Dead Reckoning doesn't sound good for Tom Cruise's ego. And they were like, we'll file The Final Reckoning. We'll do this whole airplane stunt scene, which they filmed first. And then we do this ridiculous dive scene. So again, ridiculous premise going on. Unbelievable stunts going on, yes. The first one was better. The Final Reckoning Part 1 was better. But whenever they put final on a movie, it's never the final one. They'll figure out to do another one. They'll make enough money. They'll figure out a way to bring Ethan Hunt back. So you're going in going like, okay, from experience from final horror movies and final sci-fi movies, last movies, there's got to be more. So it's not the final reckoning. And that dive scene was ridiculous. Even Cameron would have been embarrassed about. Like, wait a minute, freezing Arctic waters, and he gets out of the suit, goes in the, and he doesn't freeze immediately from hypothermia, and he goes into the turbo tube and shoots up. No, that was clearly a tank in warm water. It wasn't Arctic ice at all, because he would have died. Okay, he was diving down there, but he would have died. No, Arctic ice, you're gonna die very quickly. Yeah, so that was BS. It was cool, but it's BS. And the whole premise of the cruciform key in the 1 second they have to escape in the blink of an eye. Originally, the script was called Blink of an Eye, or the Eye of the Beholder. I think it was also called the Eye of the Beholder. So it was like a sci-fi script that they cribbed for this movie, because they didn't have a second movie, so they cribbed a script. Hollywood does that sometimes, and that's what it was. It was Blink of an Eye, Eye of the Beholder. One of those. I think it was Blink of an Eye. And yeah, so. Oh yes, and there was a Now You See Me, Now You Don't sequel. I did not see it, so I can't review it. I saw the first one, and was bored with the first one. So, let's see. So we have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. It was fine. It was entertaining. It was fine. Turn your brain off. Yeah. Jurassic World Rebirth, where the movie immediately insults the audience by saying dinosaurs aren't cool anymore, and there's only a few left on the Earth. What are you doing, movie? You just made it stupid. And then they rehashed Jurassic Park 3 by having them on an island. They are deliberately not doing the Kal Kat version. They are just staying away from the... They're even insulting the Kal Kat version by having there be one dinosaur in one city at the beginning. It's like, no, you need to have the dinosaurs rampaging through Los Angeles. There's your movie. They have to, stop them. Like rockets and shit. There's your movie. Rampaging dinosaurs in L.A. Some of them of which gain some sentience and are running around like scheming and stuff because they've been engineered that way. That'd be a cool movie. You need to do that. Sci-fi sort of Battle L.A. with dinosaurs. That's what you need to do. Don't puss out and just show a little bit of it like the last movie and show a little bit of even less of it like this movie. That's what you need to do. They refuse to do that. They don't want to do that. We don't want them in a city. It's stupid. No, it'd be cool because they're out of their element. The villain, it would be a haunted house action movie. Yeah, like a escape movie. That'd be cool. Yeah, do that. That'd be awesome. They did kind of out that in Steven Spielberg, Jurassic Park 2. Some of that they were in L.A., but no, the whole movie. There's like a T-Rex walking down Zabulba Boulevard. That'd be cool. And some of the main characters return. And we need a gag scene where Lex shows up. It doesn't in this movie, but so my version's way better. I should do that. No, this version we get bored imitation Lex, played by J-Lo, who played by no, not J-Lo, played by Black Widow lady, who shows up, ScarJo. Why did I get J-Lo? ScarJo. She was acting like J-Lo. This is ScarJo, Scarlett Johansson. She shows up, and there's other guys. They're trying to find a heart medication. They're trying to stab the aliens, take the blood back to the planet. There's an evil corporate guy. It's kind of similar to the last one with the bugs, the bug one. They just need giant locusts. What are they doing? Like, you want to make the Jurassic World reboot needs to be rebooted again. And some people were calling it Jurassic World Afterbirth or Jurassic World Abortion. That's how well they liked it. Anyway, so we're going to remove from Jurassic. That's one of the worst movies of the year, really, in terms of story. Even with the other two movies that I've seen that are pretty bad, the undisputed worst movie of the year that I've seen. Doesn't count. There's other movies that are bad that I haven't seen. But Snow White, the live-action version, if I was a Disney shill, would not say anything about it. Oh, my God. And it's not that, there are toxic ladies and they were complaining about the toxic men and stuff. That's not it. It's that they were bad actors. They were miscast. The whole premise was a mistake from the get-go. And I know the backstory of some of this because we were... So what happened is, originally, they had to reshoot like about half of this movie. The no NDA now. They had to reshoot half this movie. Well, maybe there is, but I'm gonna break it. Originally, what they were gonna do is they couldn't have the dwarves in it, so they were gonna make it all edgy, and the bandits, like a Lord of the Rings type of thing. The bandits were gonna be like the Lord of the Rings guys. And they were gonna follow Snow White around, and they were the main characters, and she was just among the bandits after being captured by them. The Queen was gonna try and stop her and all that. Yeah, test audience, early preliminaries, sort of like, no, make it more like the cartoon. So they went back and they CGI'd in the dwarves, and yeah, they were CGIing in the dwarves, and they looked like crap. And then Peter Dinklage, one of the little people, who wasn't associated with the movie, he got on his hobby horse, complaining about the plight of the little people, where the other little people were all like, no, we want to be in the movie. We wanted to ignore this guy. He's full of it. Ignore him. We want to be in the movie. They wouldn't let them be in the movie because of Peter Dinklage. So they were going back and forth because he was a famous guy. He was in a bunch of stuff like Game of Thrones and shit. So they were like, I'm going to listen to Peter Dinklage. What he says is gold. Yeah. So we have to change this movie based on this one guy. And also the Palestinian fan, Gal Gadot, who was Wonder Woman, who was allowed carte blanche in Wonder Woman 84 to add her husband, the strange guy that she transforms in that movie, into her the boyfriend from the other movie, which that's another can of worms from that movie, Wonder Woman 84. Now in this movie, she ruins the Wicked Queen by being the worst Wicked Queen villainess ever put on screen. Wow. And they had to ramp it up, so they were like, let's make a lot of crunchy noises and stuff in there. Make her sound more evil. Just made her sound more stupid. Yeah, it was sad. And Snow White, she's pure of heart. It's Snow White. It might sound a little prejudiced or off-putting or racist or whatever, but the original story, she is called that because of her skin color. She is called that because she's white. In the original play and the movie and the stories, there's nothing to do with it. It was a German play, of course, but yes, the original storybook and the versions of her have always. And if you're going to change that, change the title of the movie, and it's no longer Snow White, the princess on an adventure with the bandits, 40 Thieves or something. Yeah. Snowy and the 40 Thieves. There you go. Yeah. So Snowy and the 7 Thieves. There's your title. That way you can avoid all that other stuff and not sound racist and prejudiced. There you go. There you go. They didn't do that. Yeah, they did those Maleficent movies. I think they could get away with that. It would have been a better movie. It would have been okay. It would have been like, oh, okay, it's a reimagining. It's not really Snow White. It's Snowy and her thieves. They would actually do a Bevanfield version of Snow White. That'd be hilarious. One of those rip-off things you get in the dollar store. Like Phelan reviews a lot. I don't know him, but I've clabbed him a couple times. It's wrestling characters. But anyway, so and one other thing. What was it? It was a Ninja Turtle or Pokemon or something like that. Anyways, and the Galaxy Hole, of course. Yes, but that's different. That's something else. The Galaxy Hole. Oh yeah, Snow White was bad. Snowy and her 7 bandits. Yeah. I can't say much more about that. Okay, that ends the list from November. Adding to that list later movies. Yeah, that we've seen since, including Avatar, Avatar 3, which is kind of a mess. It's basically more of the second movie, more indulging on the second movie. It has embarrassing dialogue that's just out of the gate. Oh my God, stop! Where clearly a 65-year-old man is trying to write like a teenager and doesn't know how to do it. And I'm 55 and I don't quite know how to do it. So Cameron really doesn't know how to do it. And he's like, bruh, 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 bruh. It's like, no, no. I'm surprised 6'7" wasn't thrown in there. That new brain rot meme. Oh my god. Oh no. Dude, bruh, dude, bruh, dude. God. Really? What is this, an 80s comedy? And even they wouldn't have done that back then. But yeah, it was so embarrassing. And the whale thing comes up and they kill the whale. But you could go all, people have analyzed this movie to death, but very pretty visually. It looks very stunning visually. It was done when they made the 2, they made 3 at the same time. They need to stop. This is it. Don't do any more of these Avatar movies. It's done. Okay, you're done. Not just because of bra, but because the father figure is as annoying as the bad guy. The bad guy shouldn't even be there. Should be long dead. The wife gets nothing to do because he obviously doesn't like women very much. He was the director of True Lies. He did do Terminator. He did do some, some women heroes. He did do that, but that's to cover up for the other ones. Clearly, the bad guys are meant to be his ex-wives, including the military general lady and the main bad guy. The main bad guy lady is the most interesting. She's sort of a cross between Mumra, the Fire Queen from the later Avatar: Last Airbenders, and a little bit of Evelyn from the new Master of the Universe. That's the most interesting character. She didn't get to do much though. She gets to drug the bad guy into following her. Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, spectacle. It's probably going to make $1 billion, but it doesn't deserve it. The story is dumb as dirt. The story is Pocahontas meets more Captain Planet meets more Thundercats. Little Smurfs thrown in there. Take the Smurfs from Doug Walker. It's just embarrassing and insulting. And the idea that like these movies are animated to look like it's a visit to another world and all that, which is cool, but you're kind of insulting the very people that you're making the movie for. The colonizers of America and all that stuff. You're making fun of those guys. Probably don't want to do that, even though colonizers were assholes back in the day. But still, it's kind of like, what are you making this movie for? What are you saying? But yeah, and I wasn't insulted by that because generations removed from that. But it's like, no, this movie is just, you turn your brain off. It is literally the brain rot meme. The whole movie. Characters, the completely useless spider character who we have to fret about, or the girl that can talk to the tree thing and it's turned off and then it's turned on. There's fret about her too. But the father guy being a dick and basically ordering his kids to do stupid stuff. And then being pissed off that one of them died in the previous movie, and then leading the other one to try to delete himself because he's gaslighting him. That's just awful. And he doesn't, but the sister stops him. And Sigourney Weaver playing a little girl is just weird. It's like when they cast that Robotech lady to come back 30 years later to play in that weird extended version of Love Live Alive, and she came back and she's all talking to Rand, but she sounds like a grandma now, and she's all, oh, sugar lips. She's literally said, Sigourney Weaver cannot do a teenage girl voice anymore. Maybe back in the day, she just sounds like an old version of Ripley. But she is. She's in her 70s. She's so hot, but she's in her 70s. It's not convincing. You don't need to do that. And having her be Space Jesus is lame. Kiri, the Space Jesus. Yes, she's named after Kitty Key, but still, James, still, come on, stop with these. Anyway, so okay, then we come to another movie, Wicked for Good, the second Wicked movie, and the several of us have seen that from the church group, including Scott, and Scott Boyd, and the not at the same time, different time, and the consensus was kind of very much the same. Scott. The second one is not as good as the first one. See, the play is not as good. The play is better. It's just 2 hours. Except for the play. The book, however, is messed up. The book has a different origin. It has a different ending. It has different things that go on. And I guess the witch escaping is part of the book. It's also part of the movies, so they can do more of them. But yeah, it was confusing because they introduced the Tin Woodsman guy, okay, but then they throw it off and have Scarecrow kind of off camera introduced, and then he runs off with her at the end, and you're like, who is that? Oh, that's the Scarecrow guy. He doesn't have much to do except to be the. He has other stuff to do. The wedding is forced. The other scenes are forced because they had to condense what was in the book over like years into what amounts to months in the story. And also, you gotta wonder, like, is Dorothy just insane, dreaming up this world that she goes to in the Kansas storm? She's dreaming this, like, she's crazy and sees these witches and things, and she's bonkers. And she, yeah, they made the lion different in this version, so it is a different universe. Really, it's not the same. The wizard kind of already knowing Isilbo is his daughter, at the end of the first movie. But then kind of shockingly realizing it again at the end of this one, or the middle of this one, when he leaves. It's like, didn't you already kind of reveal that? Because he was like, you're like a daughter to me and stuff, and saying stuff like in the Gravity song and all that. At that point, he would have known. Okay, the Gravity song. At that point, he would have known. Freeze the Monkeys. At that point, in the end of the first movie, it's like a they're trying to Mandela affect you. If you think like, oh, you didn't see that. No, we did, and yeah, he already revealed it. He already gave away the farm. It was clearly his voice in the scene when he was, doing Jeff Goldblum's voice, because Jeff Goldblum. And it was yes, I'm clearly over here having the affair, but in the book version, it was rape. Ew, cringe. Yes, it wasn't an affair in the book. In the play, it's an affair, but. They could have made it just 2 hours. That would have been fine. It would have been absolutely fine. Just cut all that other stuff out. You don't need the transformation of the woodsman into the scary guy. You didn't need. Yeah, that was. You didn't need all that other stuff. The backstory being married. Just set it all up ahead of time. This could have been a 2-hour movie. Quit splitting them up into two. Then with my fan films, I go on to make 3-parters. But yes, yeah, so that is Wicked 2. Yeah, in terms of a visual movie picture that isn't animated, Wicked 1 and 2. Well, Wicked 1 was last year. So what I'm going to do is just kind of, the 2 best pictures of the year. Neja 2, animated fantasy adventure. Best picture, best animated picture, probably best picture too, really. But no, it is a sequel. So best sequel, it's in a category. This other one is also best sequel. As a whole, The Wicked 1 and 2 gets best picture of the year. As a whole, the whole thing together. Nothing else really. This year is pretty sad. When the Oscars come around, ignore them. They're gonna suck. There just isn't anything that even approaches those other 2 movies. They're Neja 2 and Wicked 1 and 2 are just no. There's nothing can touch them. They're like the current Disney, and it's not even Disney. Yeah. Aside from they had a new DC Superman honorable mention, new Fantastic Four honorable mention. So you don't really have Clara Wars this year. In terms of stories and series we were working on, the last year, this year, the Canary Space, Vanguard Space, and then the Warped Cores. That was this year. And the Victoria Brown Letters done as a sci-fi story as well over here at this one. Also winning awards for drama and stuff like that. And sci-fi drama for the letters done as a Star Trek trilogy. That one wins drama for our stuff in-house. The Warped Cores wins for original story. Trilogy, Warped Cores, wins for that. On Location Missions, the only movie that they really did was the Disneyland trip. That wins for. It's just the only category that it has, so it's for that. You get to see us again. The Marx Cards directed. I could give all of my other various voice actor characters credit for director and actor on those other movies. That'd be silly. But yeah, there's in the end, that's the whole thing. That's their awards, and you can put up the Best Picture noms up there and put them there because Oscar's not going to touch it. I guarantee you, they're not going to give. They're not going to give Deja anything. Oscar's going to ignore it. So Oscar is going to ignore it. They're not going to touch it. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's not really a Clara Awards. It's sort of movie review, end of the year review thing. Yeah, talking about stuff that we did. It was fun doing, especially the Space Warp one, doing the Warp Cores, which was Space Time High, adapting one of the books of Space Time High, and a little bit into the. Well, actually, was it a little bit into the next one? It was a little bit into the next book. Because that one was shorter than the letters. The letters thing started out as one movie, but it was just overlong. So it ended up being 3, but it was only some of book 1 of the letters. It was only up to 300 pages into book 1. So it wasn't all the way into book 2 at all. It was just book 1. And that one, it was 2009 to 2012, and then it ended in 2012. Didn't go any further than that with those, and threw out all the extra copies, so they could not do any more of them. So yeah, that was it. So we're done doing that. Yeah, and I'm gonna go on to do other things like finally get the ship model art thing working on the computer, which has nothing to do with this, of course. But yes, yeah, the movies this year have been hit and miss, and I mainly went out to the ones I wanted to see, and I just didn't get a chance to see K-pop Team Hunters. Saw the other one. I didn't see the 2 or 3 horror movies that came out. Megan 2 came and went. I didn't see it, so I don't know how bad it was. There's some other ones were atrociously bad, and should end up on the best of the worst. But there's yeah, I didn't see that. There's probably something I'm missing, but I guess it was so forgettable that I've forgotten it. And yeah, Tron Ares. But yeah, Tron Ares wasn't awful. It was just cringy. It had the same kind of cringe as the Aquaman 2 did, because there were cringy people, and the Snow White one with cringy people. It had the same cringe as the Flash movie. Some cringe. And I mean, Quantumania, cringy guy in that one. Even though he hadn't been exposed yet as cringy. Cringy for baby. Yeah, cringy. That's a good word. See, you see, I can do it. Young people speak a little bit. Cringe. That's a good one. But yes, bruh, dude, really, dude, bro, really movie. You're supposed to be set in the 22nd century. You wouldn't even know what dude, bro is. Think, Cameron, think. I know you're trying to like make it match so current people will watch it, but they won't. So like, yeah, it would be like, okay, now it's the 22nd century. It's now the 21st century, right? So it's like, okay, 100 years ago, like late Victorian era, early vaudeville, the 1920s. It'd be like if you grabbed some of that vaudeville stuff, brought it into the 2020s. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be baffling. 22nd, 23rd century. They wouldn't understand it. It would be offensive too. Yes, you can't do that. Let's bring back that. There are also other projects included a couple of Christmas plays. That was in the cast some of a kid Christmas play, and then I was in the cast of the adult one. Yeah, as a choir person. I was in the kid one, stage direction choreography, doing that instead of the other direction. Yeah. Anyway, so but yeah, it's different being on the other side, directing something. It's different. Wasn't paid. It was voluntary. It's like those other cast members. It was all voluntary. I wouldn't get paid. Ain't nobody gonna pay us. Ain't nobody gonna pay us for suggesting that Fantastic Four plot either. It was entirely voluntary. But they did dump the Eternals like a hot potato. And I can't imagine, like, even though the Ten Rings was fun from a couple of years ago, that story arc needs to go away too, because who's going to watch? Oh, let's bring him back. Yeah, and Aquafina. It's not going to work. Granted, though, in that really, really bad Little Mermaid live action one, Aquafina was okay as the seal. Because that role she could play. That was fine. Like, the scuttlebutt scene, that's fine. Prince Eric singing, that was not fine. That was 2 years ago. That was terrible. The Under the Sea song with nothing under the sea doing anything, that was terrible. Yeah, I was completely mesmerized. I didn't notice when I watched the movie. I was like, oh hell, yeah, they didn't, holy shit. They didn't include any of that stuff. What were they digging? Wow, I've seen the Broadway people do this better. Wow. Yeah. Phil Meadow noticed that. As well as Your Movie Sucks. Also noticed. Yeah, so this year's been kind of hit and miss with movies. Yeah. And there's my review of the Clara Wars 2025. The Project 2025. Kind of a lame movie. Something I'm betting toward. They also in the Star Trek universe, they mention and then take away, and mention and take away other Star Trek movies to the point of that the J.J. Abrams thing was dropped when they went over to Skydance. They did Skydance. People said, somebody said, don't do this. Yeah, don't do any more Abrams movies. It's been 10 years. Just drop it. 9 years, just drop it. We're not gonna go back. They're too expensive, those actors, to get back. Those are the actors. And then they want to do another origin story in Kal Kat on our channel. Said several times, no. Don't do another origin story. We know how that went the last time. And no, it doesn't count as the Abrams one. No, we don't. I'm talking about Section 31. That didn't work. Don't do that. Don't try to be Guardians of the Galaxy with Section 31. That was a bad idea. And I don't know how well that Starfleet Academy thing is going to work. But Lower Decks ended with retconning, for our suggestion, retconning, just not even mentioning that Locarno thing at the end of the other season. They just don't even mention it. Because they're like, yeah, that kind of doesn't make any sense. Why did we do that? A lot of way cooler things to do those characters. That was where they also revealed the way out. So what happened with that was briefly, the Beckett Mariner character is supposed to be the same age as the actual character in the show. Because she can't be older or younger. It doesn't work. She'd have to be the same age as the character in the show. She's in her early 40s. Will Wheaton is in his early 50s. And I'm in my mid-50s. Roughly the same age as Will Wheaton. So, in order for her to have met Will Wheaton, who was the youngest one at the Academy, in that Cito Jackson Locarno scene in 2368, doesn't work out. Will Wheaton would have been 17 or 18, and she would have been 8. She couldn't have she couldn't have been at the Academy. What was she doing there at 8 years old, talking to Cito and Wesley and Locarno? She wouldn't have known Locarno. Locarno wouldn't have paid attention to her. He's like 60 now. He would be like, that character would be like, no, that never happened. No, that whole story never happened. That whole planet never happened. Silly Trek it did because I watched it and it manifested. But it did in another part of the parallel universe. Kind of led to the zombie planet story happening. That was the story arc this year with the zombies at Starship Locations, which we ended and then realized we kind of didn't end satisfactorily. So at the end of, back at Warp Core, so watching the zombie stories and going like, oh, we have to end this series right here because the studio is going to be gone. So we're going to end the series. We're going to write up, make a treatment for a 90-minute episode, officially solving the multiverse and the zombie arc for Starship Legacy. Do that. Bring it to a close. A satisfying ending. So we did. So I went and shot that. Satisfying ending. Okay, here's the zombie Brady Bunch zombie Zavolvida story arc comes to an end with a 4th movie. comes to an end and closes. The new Star Trek can feel free to rip that off if they want to. Yeah, their best idea for the next movie, if they do another movie, is something that has nothing to do with the con, nothing to do with a big villain, make an ecological problem they have to solve on a planet. Put our heroes on the planet, legacy style, with the TNG cast. Don't go forward, don't go backward. TNG cast, and some of their children. There's your movie. Go write that script. Paramount, do it. Just put it together. All right, that's it.